For 3 long years, no one in the town of Red Hollow asked why the lights in that small, broken house flickered late into the night. They heard things. Everyone did. The sharp crack of something hitting wood, or bone. A woman's muffled cry. Then silence. The kind of silence that feels wrong. But Red Hollow had a way of looking the other way. People there minded their business. Survival came first, and trouble, especially someone else's trouble, was a luxury no one could afford. Her name was Eliza Hart. Once, she had been known for her laughter. Now, she was known for nothing at all. The first year, she tried to fight back. The second year, she tried to endure. By the third year, she barely tried anything. Because hope, like anything else, can be beaten out of a person. Her husband, Marcus Doyle, had not always been a monster, or at least, that's what people liked to believe. It made it easier to sleep at night. Easier to pretend there was a line between good men and bad ones. But Marcus crossed that line so long ago, no one remembered where it had been. It started with shouting. Then came the grabbing. Then came the bruises. Then came the nights when Eliza would lie on the floor, staring at the ceiling, wondering if this would be the night she didn't get back up. She stopped going into town. Stopped speaking. Stopped looking people in the eye. And slowly, piece by piece, she disappeared, while still breathing. The winter of the third year was the cruelest. Snow fell heavy, trapping Red Hollow beneath a suffocating blanket of white. Roads disappeared. Supplies ran thin. And isolation became complete. Inside the house, things grew worse. Marcus drank more. Much more. And when Marcus drank, he didn't just lose control. He became something else. One night, the storm howled like a living thing outside, rattling the windows as if trying to claw its way in. Inside, Eliza stood by the stove, stirring a pot of thin soup. Her hands trembled. Not from the cold. From fear. The door slammed open. Marcus stumbled in, snow clinging to his coat, eyes wild and unfocused. "You think this is enough?" he slurred, kicking the table so hard it nearly toppled. Eliza didn't answer. She had learned long ago, answers only made things worse. That silence, it angered him more than words ever could. He grabbed her arm. Hard. Too hard. "You don't get to ignore me," he roared. And then. Pain. Sharp. Sudden. Unavoidable. She hit the ground. Again. And again. Until the world blurred into nothing but sound and darkness. Hours later, she lay there, barely conscious. The storm still raged. Marcus had passed out in his chair. And Eliza, she didn't move. Didn't cry. Didn't even think. Because something inside her had finally gone quiet. Not peaceful. Just, empty. And in that emptiness, a thought surfaced, slow and heavy. This is how it ends. But fate doesn't always follow the script people expect. Because far beyond the edges of Red Hollow, where the mountains rose like silent giants, a man was walking through the storm. He wasn't from the town. Didn't belong to it. Didn't owe it anything. They called men like him many things. Outsider. Drifter. Hermit. But those who truly understood, called him something else. A mountain man. He moved through the blizzard like it wasn't there, his coat thick with frost, his step steady and unhurried. He had no reason to come to Red Hollow. No destination waiting for him. But sometimes, the world has a way of guiding people exactly where they're needed. Even if they don't know it yet. By the time the storm began to ease, the man stood at the edge of town. He looked at the quiet buildings. The closed doors. The smoke rising from chimneys. And something about it felt wrong. Not dangerous. Not loud. Just wrong. Like a place where something had been broken long ago, and left that way. He stepped forward. And as he walked down the empty street, he heard it. Faint. Barely there. A sound most would have ignored. But not him. A weak, broken, whisper of a cry. It came from that house. The one no one talked about. The one everyone pretended not to hear. He stopped. Listened. And then, without hesitation, he turned toward it. Inside, Eliza lay on the floor, her breathing shallow, her vision fading in and out. She didn't hear the door open. Didn't hear the heavy footsteps. Didn't see the man until a shadow fell over her. For a moment, she thought it was Marcus again. Another round. Another night. Another beating. But then. A voice. Low. Calm. Different. Who did this to you? Her eyes struggled to focus. And for the first time in 3 years, she saw something she had forgotten existed. Concern. Real concern. Not anger. Not cruelty. Not indifference. Something human. Tears slipped from her eyes, not from pain, but from confusion. Because kindness felt unfamiliar. Stay with me, the man said, kneeling beside her. And in that moment, something shifted. Just a little. A spark. Faint. Fragile. But alive. Back in his chair, Marcus stirred. He opened his eyes slowly, and saw the stranger. Standing in his house. Kneeling beside his wife. And just like that. The storm hadn't ended. It had only just begun. Marcus Doyle didn't like surprises. Especially not the kind standing in his home. He pushed himself up from the chair, his head pounding, his temper rising fast. "Who the hell are you?" he growled. The mountain man didn't answer right away. He gently placed a blanket over Eliza. Checked her breathing. Made sure she was still conscious. Only then did he stand. Slowly. Calmly. Like a man who didn't fear anything in that room. "I asked you something," Marcus snapped, stepping forward. The stranger turned. And when their eyes met, Marcus felt something he hadn't felt in a long time. Not fear. Not yet. But something close. A warning. "You did this?" the mountain man asked quietly. Marcus scoffed. "That's my wife. I'll do whatever I damn well." He didn't finish the sentence. Because the next moment, everything changed. The mountain man moved fast. Faster than Marcus expected. A single strike. Clean. Precise. Marcus hit the floor hard. The room fell silent. For the first time in years. Marcus was the one on the ground. And Eliza, she saw it. Through blurred vision. Through pain. She saw him fall. And something inside her shifted again. Marcus groaned, trying to get up. The mountain man stepped closer. Not angry. Not shouting. Just, certain. "You don't touch her again," he said. It wasn't a threat. It was a fact. Marcus laughed weakly, blood on his lip. "You think you can just walk in here and..." Another strike. Another fall. This time, Marcus didn't get up so quickly. Outside, a few townspeople had begun to notice. The door. Open. Voices inside. They gathered slowly, hesitant. Watching. Waiting. Like they always did. But this time, something was different. Inside, the mountain man turned back to Eliza. "We're leaving," he said. She blinked. Leaving? The word felt unreal. Impossible. But he said it like it was already decided. Like there was no other option. "I can't," she whispered. He knelt beside her again. "Yes, you can. Not forceful. Not demanding. Just, steady." Like he believed it. Even if she didn't. Marcus stirred again, anger burning through pain. "You take her," he spat, "you'll regret it." The mountain man didn't even look at him. "No," he said. "You will." And for the first time in 3 years. Someone stood between Eliza and the man who broke her. Not for a moment. Not halfway. But completely. The townspeople watched as the mountain man carried her out of that house. Wrapped in a blanket. Protected. Safe. And no one stopped him. Because deep down. They knew. This was long overdue. Days passed. Then weeks. High in the mountains, far from Red Hollow, Eliza began to heal. Slowly. Painfully. But truly. The mountain man, whose name she learned was Caleb, never asked for anything. Never pushed. Never demanded. He simply stayed. Built fires. Brought food. Gave her space. And for the first time in years. She began to feel something unfamiliar. Not fear. Not survival. But peace. But peace doesn't erase the past. And one morning, as the sun rose over the mountains, Eliza spoke. "He'll come looking." Caleb nodded. "I know." She looked at him, fear creeping back. "What if he finds us?" Caleb's expression didn't change. "Then he'll wish he hadn't." Back in Red Hollow. Marcus Doyle was healing too. But not in the same way. His wounds turned to anger. His anger turned to obsession. And obsession turned into a single thought. "She belongs to me." So he set out. Into the mountains. Tracking. Hunting. He found them. Of course he did. Men like Marcus always think they're the hunters. The final confrontation came at dusk. Snow crunching under heavy boots. Tension thick in the air. Marcus stepped into the clearing. "You think you can take what's mine?" he shouted. Caleb stepped forward. "She was never yours." What followed wasn't just a fight. It was an ending. To 3 years of pain. 3 years of silence. 3 years of fear. And this time. Marcus didn't get back up. The mountains fell quiet again. But this time. The silence felt different. Not heavy. Not broken. But, free. Eliza stood there, trembling. Not from fear. But from something else. Relief. Caleb turned to her. "It's over." And for the first time. She believed it. Years later, people in distant towns would speak of a woman who found her strength again. And a mountain man who walked into a storm, and changed everything. Backhand index pointing right. If this story moved you, make sure you subscribe. Because stories like this remind us of one thing: sometimes, all it takes is one person to stand up, and everything changes.